Why, hello there, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Top 10s in Sports. Today, we're going to look at the top 10 players that fans should be most excited to see that are coming off a major injury last season. A few of these guys did not play at all last season. The majority of them missed most of the season. There's really only one that played most of the regular season before getting hurt, a little bit before the playoffs. But he was an MVP candidate, this player, which is why he's on the list. So, without further ado, here are the top 10 players in the NFL coming off a major injury that fans should be excited to watch this season to see if they can regain their previous heights coming off the injury. Number 10, Chicago Bears new wide receiver Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson signed a 3-year, $42 million deal with $25.2 million of that guaranteed this offseason to join Chicago. Last year, he tore his ACL in the season opener, thus ending his season very prematurely. This was one of the best wide receivers in the game during the 2015 season. That year, he caught 80 balls for 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns. Mitch Trubisky really didn't have excellent weapons last year to throw to in his rookie year. So if Robinson could stay healthy, he clearly is the most talented wide receiver that Trubisky has had in his brief NFL stay. Number 9, Miami Dolphins quarterback Ryan Tannehill. A knee injury forced him to miss all of last season. The 5-year pro arguably was coming off his best season of his career in 2016 when he last played. In the 13 games he appeared in, he completed 67.1% of his passes for 2,995 yards, 19 TDs, 12 interceptions, a 93.5 quarterback rating. With him missing all of last year, the team coaxed Jay Cutler out of retirement, and as we all know, that didn't go all that well for Miami. Number 8, Dalvin Cook, running back, Minnesota Vikings. He was a second-round pick last year. He played in 4 games before he tore his ACL, of course, ending his rookie year. In those 4 games, he ran for 354 yards on 4.8 yards per carry. Was very solid. This is a guy who, in his sophomore and junior seasons at Florida State, rushed for a combined 3,456 yards and 38 touchdowns. Number 7, Kansas City Chiefs safety Eric Berry. Eric Berry tore his Achilles tendon in the season opener last year, ending his season. This has long been one of the best safeties in the NFL. Berry was a first-team All-Pro in 2013, 2015, and 2016. This won't be the first time that he's had to overcome adversity as a pro. He tore his ACL in 2011. And in late 2014, he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease, and the following year, he was a first-team All-Pro. Number 6, Arizona Cardinals running back David Johnson. David Johnson in 2016 basically was what Todd Gurley was for the Rams last year. With the Cardinals in 2016, Johnson ran for 1,239 yards and 16 touchdowns, while also catching 80 passes for 879 yards and another 4 touchdowns receiving. He suffered a wrist injury in the season opener last year, was unable to return. Number 5, defensive end on the Houston Texans, J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt is one of just 2 players in NFL history to be named Defensive Player of the Year 3 times, along with Lawrence Taylor. This is a guy who has struggled to stay on the field, though, the past 2 years. In his 2 years, he's played just 8 games with a total of only 1.5 sacks. One of the most dominant defenders pretty much in NFL history. From 2012 to 15, those 4 seasons, he had 69 combined sacks, including 2 years with 20 and a half. Number 4, Indianapolis Colts quarterback Andrew Luck. Luck was the first overall selection in the 2012 NFL draft, but he missed all of last year with shoulder ailments. All signs are pointing to him being ready for the opening week of this season. This is a guy who threw 31 touchdown passes in 2016, 40 in 2014, and 3 times in his 5 seasons has thrown for at least 4,240 yards. The Colts fell on hard times last year, but with Luck returning, who knows, maybe they can be one of the surprise teams in the NFL this year. Number 3, Carson Wentz, quarterback, Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate last year, may have been the favorite to win MVP, as in his 13 games, he went 11-2 as a starter, threw for 3,296 yards, 33 touchdowns, and only 7 interceptions. Unfortunately, in the Eagles' 13th game, he tore his ACL. As we all know, Eagles still went on to win the Super Bowl as Nick Foles, played like he's never played before in helping guide the Philadelphia Eagles to their first Super Bowl championship. Wentz was the 2nd overall pick in 2016. It's still unclear whether he will be ready for the season opener. Number 2, New York Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. Beckham Jr., of course, has been in the news a lot recently because he wants a huge pay deal. Some reports saying that he wants to be the highest paid player in the NFL, even including quarterbacks. We'll see. Apparently, according to ESPN, negotiations have begun with the Giants and Beckham. Last year was a short, brief one for him, though, as a broken ankle ended his season after 4 games. He had compiled 25 catches for 302 yards and 3 touchdowns in those 4 games. The 2014 Offensive Rookie of the Year. His first 3 years in the league, he approximately averaged 96 catches for 1,374 yards and 12 touchdowns. Number 1 on this list was arguably the most exciting player in the NFL last year in his rookie season. Unfortunately, he tore his ACL in practice after 7 games, 6 starts. That is Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, the 12th overall pick in 2017. In those 7 games he played for the Texans, he threw for 1,699 yards, 19 touchdowns, and had a 103.0 quarterback rating. He also ran for 269 yards and 2 touchdowns. Once he got hurt, the team turned to Tom Savage, and they just completely struggled to get any points on the board. This is a guy who won a national championship at Clemson, and in his 3 years at Clemson, threw for 90 touchdowns compared to just 32 interceptions, while also running for 26 touchdowns. So that will do it for this top 10 list, the top 10 NFL players coming off serious injuries that fans should be excited to see. Please like and subscribe to this channel. I promise the videos will get better as time goes along. Thank you, everyone.